Welcome back to Ethereal Aeons Activation. I am Lesly Damai, and today I want to talk to you guys about being hyper vigilant at this point, about when you are being fed upon by the Archons. And this can happen anytime. It can happen when you're awake, it can happen when you're asleep. Think of it this way: anytime you react unconsciously, angry, sad, envious, all of these low vibrational energies, anytime you respond and feel these emotions, you're going to be fed upon. In our reality, we are constantly being surrounded by these fourth dimensional entities, and they will latch on your zone if they sense that you are food. Because these Archons will try and poke and prod at you. And the Matrix is always trying to stress you out. It's always trying to throw curveballs, and the system is naturally going to also counterbalance certain energies. So that's just the way we work. We work in a reality where it's literally like a chess game. So it's like constantly going back and forth, back and forth. And you may be a pretty balanced person, but if you're still experiencing, let me turn this on, it's a little dark. If you're still experiencing anger, fear, especially fear, jealousy, uncontrolled thoughts, repetitive thoughts, psychic attacks, anything like this, that can highly likely be something that's being implanted or thrown your way, a frequency that's being thrown your way. Now, just because something is thrown your way does not mean you have to respond. If you are conscious of your thoughts, if you are a meditator, if you are somebody that's trying to master thyself and somebody that's trying to become their own script writer, you're probably going to be very aware when something pops in that's not yours. Now, if you can't really tell or even suspect that your mind is sitting in a swamp in a low vibrational space, especially for extended periods of time, you're not going to know that you're actually being fed upon. These entities and the frequencies that are being thrown your way can place thoughts in your head. We are under an extreme surveillance in this reality. We are in this Saturn moon matrix. Saturn is creating the projection, the frequency that's being beamed to our realm from the moon. Like the moon's like a satellite. So regardless, it's pretty fucked up here, because we can be on our path, but there is a 24/7 frequency being emitted to the realm. And that frequency gives the fourth dimensional beings a huge the fourth dimensional entities, a huge advantage on this game, in this game that we're in. So you have to be really, really, really on top of it. And so the simple, if you do magic or you do rituals or anything like this, you can add this in there as well. So simple, but I will tell you something that I recently shared with someone, and hopefully, this will start reprogramming themselves. So I am not food. I am not food. Literally, I am not food, because what is happening is that humans are being fed upon energetically. This is why people don't have strong energy fields, because energetically they're being depleted. And what happens is when you experience an emotion or energy, or you're triggered to feel something that's really uncomfortable, that energy is then emitted through your frequency. And since it's a low density energy, these entities can siphon that out pretty easily. It matches more their frequency, right? So they're able to latch on to that, because the thing is that they are not sustainable. They can't hold on to their power, and they can't eat normal food. So they don't take in the natural elements the same as we would. And so that's how they feed, is on the low energies of the human. So just really ask yourself, whenever you're impulsive and encounter spouts of anger, rage, fear, sadness, unhealthy lust, jealousy, hate, all of these things. If you're experiencing this still, that means you're being fed upon. Now, all of these things we're all going to encounter once in a while. And we can easily try and flip that or work through that and process that. I'm not saying we're perfect and we should never, ever experience that, because we are going to have our tower card moment eventually here and there. And it's really how you navigate that frequency more so. But if you continue to feed upon it, if you continue to share your stories of distress and how you were wronged and carry a sort of victim mentality, what you're doing is you're dancing with the beast. If you're carrying stories of how you were victimized on certain subjects that, like, if you really take a look at your life and figure out how certain things worked out, I will guarantee you a lot of times you walked into a trap. So it's like really just breaking down your own reality and your own script and seeing who's in charge of it here. Because our reality is scripted, and really what I try to focus on with my clients is how they can begin to rewrite their script in a version that is way more sovereign than just what you were taught in school and throughout life if you were not awakened. So really check yourself in life and see where you're being siphoned out the most. Especially if you have low vibrational habits that you haven't broken, that's going to be a big one. If you're hanging out in places that are super low vibrational, that's going to be another big one. You're going to run into these spirits that linger in those types of environments because it's a prime area of feed. Think about a fisherman, right? The fisherman's going to hang out where he knows there's plenty of fish to catch. And what they want are those easy catches a lot of the times, right? So just know what you're walking into when you are out and about in your life and doing your thing, if you are trying to break past your script. So this video isn't just for anyone in particular. Like, I don't care, you do what you want to do, but if you're trying to break out of your script and you've somewhat been doing the work, but you're really ready to embody that, that's the number one piece of advice I can give you, is figure out where you're being fed upon the most. And don't blame it on other people. If you start blaming it on other people, then you're still being food, because you're actually just, that's a victim mentality. It's really time to own up to your own sovereignty. Figure your own stuff out so that you don't become food to these fourth dimensional entities. And if you're in a situation where you are unable to leave an unhealthy environment or relationship, do everything that you can to get yourself out of there. That's the biggest piece of advice that I can give you, because it's not going to resolve itself. And it's really hard to continue to work on your own energy and your own sovereignty if you're in a place that's continuously dragging you down. So people are really starting to talk a lot about how they don't like where they live and all of this stuff. I went through that too. Okay, I totally get it, and I learned a lot of lessons from it. So don't be shy to pull the trigger and do it. Don't wait for the perfect time, because there will not be a perfect time, because these archons are running circles around these loops in your life as well. So I hope this served as a reminder to you guys to continue remembering that I'm not food. You're not food to these entities if you choose not to be. If you guys have any more questions regarding this subject, please let me know. We'll be talking about this a lot more. Stay tuned for my video coming up, which is going to be about how sexual energy is one of their favorite ways to mess with people. So that is going to be quite an interesting episode, and I can't wait to share that with you guys as well. Until then, please make sure you subscribe and like the video, share with a friend, sending you so much love.